Okay, I'm going to do a tour of my square foot garden experiment. This will start with the box I built 3 years ago but never used. I put corn in it. I planted 3 rows so far, 6 inches apart. So only the left side of it has anything planted right now. Planted it less than a week ago. Haven't seen anything yet, but we'll see how that goes. So that's our first box. I'm going to do the whole 4x4 with corn. Just do successive plantings as it goes along and see how it goes from there. And then have a couple boxes that I put kind of in the shade. So as you can see right now, it's in the shade. So basically the back that way is east and that's west. So the house shades it after about 1 o'clock or so. So I put my cool weather stuff over here. Since I planted these, see now we're in towards the end of May. Don't know how well they'll do, but basically I put broccoli, cauliflower, and then we got some transplants for kale, and a different kind of cauliflower. And also, let's see, in this one we have our cilantro and basil from old seeds, so we'll see how they do. So I planted everything less than a week ago, so we haven't seen any of the seedlings pop up yet. Blah. But unfortunately, we had an issue with the broccoli. I just cut it off, as you can see there, because it was starting to get the yellow flowers. And when I looked it up, that was broccoli going to seed, so bolting, because it's been a little bit warm lately. So there are still some side shoots on there, and we'll see how they do. Very tiny little things. We'll see. If not, well, I guess lesson learned. Same thing with the cauliflower. It's kind of a cool weather too, so I don't know what we'll get, but we figured we'll try it. And the kale is also kind of a cool weather, so we'll see once again how it'll do here in the cool shade. But like I said, the broccoli didn't do so hot, so we'll see. And on my little workbench here, you can actually see those were the flowers. So those are the yellow flowers that I cut off the broccoli when I harvested them. The tiny little heads, they were only about this big, that long, and none of them were fully formed at all, so it was too sad. So the main garden, basically what we have is a perimeter with the fencing as a trellis, and then 2 4x8s. So the outside perimeter trellis boxes I made 1 foot wide, 1 foot wide, and then the length of them basically made it to the whole length of all the perimeter, the fence that was already there, trellis. So it ended up being 46 linear feet, 14 feet on the sides, on each side, and then across was 18 feet. So 18, 2 14s. So basically I planted something, all those spots to take advantage of this trellis. That way we'll be able to grow everything up there. So we got 4 different varieties of tomatoes. So I planted them in groups of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, those are all 4 different variety. And then I'll put something else, that's a pepper plant. And then I put the same 4 varieties and did the same thing over on the other side. So that way we can see how they grow next to each other and see which ones are going to work best, and just do our little experiment. This is our cucumber, which has definitely been having some issues with some leaves turning white and also kind of wilting a little bit. So we'll see. It has started to put out its own leaves, which is good. I took pictures. I never did get around to taking video of all this stuff when it came out, but when the stuff came out here, it's been a week and a half, and it's basically like tripled, quadrupled in size. So this is a banana squash, and that one is our cucumber. And this is an autumn squash. So we planted those 2 feet apart. Same thing. The cucumbers, I have 2 plants in this square, and then I gave each of the squashes 2 feet to spread, so they'll be able to spread up this trellis here. And then I'll probably take advantage of this and put it up higher, because right now it's about 4.5, 5 feet, but see if I can't use those fence posts that are already there. So each tomato or pepper was just given 1 square foot. I also threw some marigold seeds in between some of the couple of the squashes and between some of the tomatoes to just see if they'll come up. I read that those are good companion plantings for the tomatoes to keep the bugs away, so we'll see how that goes. And then with these 3 boxes here, each one of them was 6 feet, and because they're all squash, I gave them all 2 square feet of room. So basically each box, 6-foot box, has 3 plants. A summer squash, a winter squash, and a melon. And I can't remember off the top of my head which ones are which, but basically that's how it goes. So this is our summer squash, our winter squash, and a melon, and then a different summer squash, a different winter squash, melon, and then summer, winter melon. If I had to guess, I would say that these 2 melons are the watermelon, because I planted 2 watermelon and a honeydew, so probably that's the honeydew, and these 2 are the watermelon. With the summer squash, there is 2 yellow crookneck and 1 sunburst that are summer squash. With the winter squash, there is 2 of them are the butternut, and 1 of them is the acorn. And over there, the banana squash is labeled an autumn squash, so not sure exactly. I guess we'll find out when that one comes due too. And that black beauty zucchini is the same as this one over here. So basically in the back row, I've got 3 summer squash, 3 winter squash, and 3 melons. And in each corner, I've got a zucchini to give them plenty of room. This is a Howden pumpkin. And once again, all this stuff has just started crazy takeoff, which is great. And then I've got the group of 4 tomatoes, a pepper plant, group of 4 tomatoes, and on the very end is our 1 heirloom tomato, Big Rainbow. So that is what that is on these ones. So as you can see, I planted it, or made the boxes right up next to the fence here, so that way I can grow it up. The trellis, help it along. That way we'll be able to keep those tomatoes, the vining ones especially, growing up there, and it won't need to be staked or anything like that. They can grow all over the place, and especially for these guys, the squashes and stuff, let them go crazy on that fence, so that way they won't take up all the room in the garden. So with the big boxes here, the 4x8s, I have this was the one that I did first. Have a lot of pepper plants in there, 5 different varieties, 1 jalapeno, red bell pepper, an orange bell pepper, a yellow bell pepper, and a sweet banana pepper. So you can see these are the pepper plants. I definitely don't have any idea which ones are which, because they all look very similar. But basically you can see there's 2 in there, 2 in that row, 2 in that row, 2 in that row, 3 in that row, 1 in that row, and then 2 in that row. So lots of them. Put my broccoli here on the corner. Once again, I had to harvest the top because it was flowering, but this one broccoli of the 4 has actually not went to flower yet. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it and see how it does. Hopefully it'll not go to seed yet. So it's actually the best looking one too. So that's good that it didn't. You can also see the side shoots down there, which will be forming after I cut the main head. So that's the only reason that I'm keeping the little, the other 3 broccoli plants around, is to hope that their side shoots will produce something. But if not, we'll see. We'll just lesson learned. Got to plant it earlier than that. Okay, then we have an okra plant here. Pepper. This is our eggplant. Another pepper. We got cauliflower, pepper, eggplant, pepper, cauliflower, pepper, eggplant, pepper. Now you can see we have had some issues here. We got some leaf damage. There's some ends rigging out, some holes in the middle on these ones. Nothing's really messing with the pepper plants too much. There's a couple holes in the eggplant and the pepper, but not much. This broccoli looks good. It's just kind of weird. The little okra here is having a kind of a tough go at it because some of the leaves are really chewed up, but it has put out several more leaves since the time we planted, so hopefully it'll take off. And then this cauliflower is doing good. This little nibble there, whatever it was done like a week after we planted, or a couple days I should say, and hasn't had any problems since except for this additional one here. So it's pretty good. Hopefully it'll stay that way. Pepper plants all look really good. So once again, here's our other broccoli. You can see where I cut it right there because it was making those yellow flowers, which they said, that's going to seed and it's going to change the texture and it's going to be gross and mealy, so cut it down. Even though there was nothing left on it, cut it no matter what. So once again, eggplants in the middle, basically there. Had 6 of those there. There's our other cauliflower, which looks so much better. When I planted it, I remember it did not look like it was going to make it. It was all shriveled up and stuff, and for quite a while. But it has recovered, so still got a couple crunchy leaves. But other than that, it's looking good. We'll see how it's going. Hopefully, it's another cool weather crop. So once again, trying to experiment planting this late, but we'll see. Our other okra plants. So we have 2 okra, 3 broccoli in here. 3 cauliflower in here, 6 eggplant, and then the rest are all peppers, except for this top row here. I'm going to build a trellis here because what I put here is beans. So we have all seeds here, which I planted earlier in the week, or last week I should say, and I can't remember the exact, I have to look at my reference of which one's which, but basically we've got some snow peas. Once again, a cool weather crop, may not make it, but we'll give it a shot. Snow peas, pole beans, soybeans, and then an assortment of all the other ones that I had left over. So I just kind of made a little, this end be a little extra. So we'll see. But I put them here on the north side. This is the north side of the box. That way when they grow up, they can grow up as high as they need, and they won't be shade anything except all the dirt here. Because basically, as you can tell, we're not utilizing all the space in here in the garden space right now, because we have more than enough stuff already, but we'll be good. So our second box, which we just started putting in, this wasn't even built when we finished the first one. Don't have anything in the top 2 rows of yet. I was thinking about putting more beans and stuff, doing a separate or succession plant, or planting later. I can't remember what to call it, but anyway, planting a few weeks. I'll plant some more beans over here. That way we can once again have a different trellis and not be shading anything. So we have, those are the 2 pepper plants. Those 2 pepper plants there, and there are 2 pepper plants here, and then these squares in the diagonal of each other, this one and that one, are carrots. I planted a bunch of carrot seeds, so we'll see how they do. I have 2 empty spots right now. Then I have a whole ton of onions. So I have some white onions in these 2 middle squares. Then Walla Walla onions, each one has 9, and then the white onions, even though they were all 4 packs, there was a ton more of the red onions, so basically a ton of the red onions there end up being 4 squares of 9, and then this square here is planted 16 per square, and these were all the rejects, basically the ones, because I basically sorted through the 4 packs, loosened up all the dirt, separate all the onions, and these were the scraggly ones. Instead of just throwing them away, I figured, oh, what the heck, I got plenty of room, I'll just throw them in there. This is a Thai hot red pepper, and that's it. So I have 4 empty spots on the back side there, 1 empty in the corner, 2 empty in this rows, and then the first 2 rows are all empty. So that's what we got to in our second box. And so we've got a whole lot of stuff here, and we're pretty excited to see how it's all gonna turn out, with once again our tomatoes, squash and melons, and then more tomatoes on the perimeter there. See how it works with this trellis, keep things up, pack a lot of stuff in, and then our tons of peppers, eggplant, and a few other little things. So we'll see how it all goes, and then be reporting back in. I want to check in weekly so that I can see how things progress and see how this works out. All right.